Okay, well, in chapter 45 of the book of Jeremiah, we're going to pause the timeline and go back in time again. I told you this is like the third or fourth time in the book of Jeremiah we've gone back in time. We're going to do it again in chapter 45. This relates a little bit closer to chapter 36 of the book of Jeremiah. Basically, when Jeremiah was during the time of Jehoiakim, he, wrote the word of God down. He was told to write, and then Baruch took it and read it to the people. And then they took that and they took it to the king, and the king sliced it up and burned it. And all they sought Jeremiah and Baruch's life. That's this time period. So we're going back to that time period, basically back in Jehoiakim. So long. This is back in the first Babylonian exile time frame, basically. So verse 1, the word that Jeremiah the prophet spake unto Baruch the son of Neriah, when he had written these words in a book at the mouth of Jeremiah, in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, saying, so remember, this is Baruch's writing the scroll, okay, verse 2, thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, unto thee, O Baruch, thou didst say, woe is me now, for the Lord hath added grief to my sorrow. I fainted in my sighing, and I find no rest. So God is saying that Baruch is saying this. This could be through a prayer. This could be just Baruch, his internal dialogue going on. He's panicking. He's kind of depressed. He's kind of freaking out a little bit, going, crap, this isn't going to go well for us. We're going to be in trouble. So God is telling him what he already knows. And it could be, again, private prayer to God. He's conveying his messages. This could be, again, his internal thought. So nobody else would know that this is what Baruch is thinking except Baruch. So to have Jeremiah reveal what Baruch is thinking, that's probably a good vindication to Baruch that this is a legit prophecy. Verse 4, thus shalt thou say unto him, the Lord saith thus, behold, that which I have built I will break down, and that which I have planted I will pluck up, even this whole land. In fact, the Hebrew text adds, for it is mine, right at the end of that. Verse 5, and seekest thou great things for thyself? Seek them not. For behold, I will bring evil upon all flesh, saith the Lord, but thy life will I give unto thee for a prey in all places whither thou goest. So God is saying, look, Baruch, you have grand ideas for the future. Don't worry about them. Don't pursue those ideas. But know, I will preserve your life through the crazy mess that's coming, basically. Now, Baruch was an educated man. He was qualified as a secretary, whose brother was an officer of high rank under Zedekiah. He may have entertained hopes of some distinction in the nation, but whatever great things he sought for himself were forfeited by his loyal support of Jeremiah. Now, in the hour of disaster, all that mattered was his own life. Ironically, the very suffering through which Baruch passed because of his loyalty to Jeremiah gained him honor beyond anything he could have anticipated. I mean, think about it. We're learning about Baruch 2,000 years later, over 2,000 years later, about 2,500 years later. We get to hear about him. We're learning about him. We're seeing him as an important part of history. So he has been remembered through time. He's only seen as the secretary of the prophet, but because he was willing to set aside personal ambitions to follow the prophet, God blessed him and prospered him. Didn't make him rich and famous, but really brought good prosperity and blessings to Baruch, which is important. That's a good thing. So some good lessons for us to learn from Baruch. Now let's jump over to our next chapter as we continue the story of Jeremiah and Baruch forward.